Hey everyone and welcome! Today we are talking about something truly special, one of the most powerful stories out there, the story of the underdog. We're going to explore the hidden strengths of people who aren't expected to win and find out how their so-called disadvantages might just be their greatest asset.
So, let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where somebody just counted you out before you even got started? You know, where it felt like the odds were completely stacked against you? If that sounds familiar, then you already know exactly what it feels like to be the underdog.
Alright, so what is an underdog, really? It's way more than just a label. It's a very specific mix of circumstances. And, more importantly, it's about the powerful mindset that grows out of those circumstances. Okay, the official definition is pretty simple. It's someone who's not expected to win. The long shot, right? The dark horse. But you gotta pay close attention to that last part, but often surprises everyone. That's not just some little detail, that's the whole point.
And that brings us right to the heart of it all. See, we're usually taught to see an underdog starting point as a weakness. But what if that's just completely wrong? What if those challenges are actually superpowers, forged in the fire of just having to fight for everything?
So every underdog story starts right here, with a bunch of external challenges. These are the things they can't control. It's just a hand they were dealt.
Just think about it for a second. Low expectations from everyone around you, a serious lack of resources, being the little guy up against a giant. Maybe for you it's learning from free online videos while everyone else has expensive private tutors. These hurdles, these are the classic starting blocks for every single underdog story.
But here's the crucial part. It's what happens next. Those outside pressures, they don't crush the underdog. No way. Instead, they forge something incredibly powerful on the inside. They light an inner fire.
And what's so fascinating is how one thing leads to another. When you don't have a safety net, you're forced to develop some serious grit. And that grit, it fuels this relentless work ethic. And then, when you've got no resources, that work ethic pushes you to be truly innovative. It's like a chain reaction.
And then there's this. This is the phrase that so many underdogs hear over and over and over again. It's designed to stop them in their tracks, to make them give up.
But for the underdog, this is where the magic happens. This is the real transformation. All that skepticism, all that doubt from the outside world, it doesn't become a wall. It becomes rocket fuel. And here's how that works. That doubt turns into motivation to prove every single person wrong. Their struggle actually starts to attract support from other people, from outsiders who love a good comeback story. And because they're always being underestimated, they have this huge overlooked potential, kind of like a secret weapon that nobody sees coming until it's way too late. Now, listen, this isn't just some nice theory. We see this exact dynamic play out all the time in the real world, across pretty much every field you can imagine. Just take a look here. The pattern is always the same. In sports, it's the championship team against the low-ranked long shot. In business, the huge global company versus the tiny startup working out of a garage. In entertainment, the big-budget blockbuster against the independent filmmaker. The setup is universal because the principle behind it is too. So after all of this, what's the big takeaway? Well, it's time to completely flip how we think about this. Being the underdog isn't some weakness you have to overcome. It's actually a powerful position you can leverage. Your disadvantage is your advantage. And here's why. First, having nothing to lose forces you to be way more creative and to work way harder than the people who are comfortable. Second, your journey creates this incredibly powerful story that inspires other people.
And finally, by succeeding against all odds, you prove that success isn't just for the people who started with everything. You literally change the rules of the game for everyone.
Okay, so we've defined the underdog, we've broken down their superpowers, and we've seen exactly how they win. So now, let's bring this all back home. Let's talk about you.
I really want you to let this one sink in for a minute. Think about all those times you were overlooked or passed over or underestimated. That wasn't a rejection. That was the starting line. That was the exact moment you were handed all the fuel you'd ever need to build a kind of strength that the favorites will never, ever know. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Take a really hard look at the challenges you're facing right now, the resources you think you don't have, and ask yourself, are they really holding you back? Or are they secretly forging your greatest strengths? What power is waiting to be unlocked in your disadvantage?
Learn the kind of English that AI can't replace. Join Beyond Norm's full text input and output training and stay competitive for the future.